You're 9 years old. The Nile has failed again. Cracked earth stretches to the horizon like the skin of a dying giant. Your stomach growls so loudly that it wakes you at night. Your little brother stopped crying 3 days ago. That's what scares your mother the most. Hungry children cry. Dying children don't. Then strangers arrive. Royal tax collectors. Golden collars. Clean sandals. Sharp eyes. One of them points at you. Strong shoulders. Healthy legs. Good worker. The official places a copper ring in his hand. The price of a son. The price of survival. Your mother screams. Your father cries. And just like that, you belong to Pharaoh. Not your family. Not yourself. Pharaoh. You don't understand it yet, but you'll never truly be free again. Dozens of children march through the desert, tied together by rope. When the Great Pyramids finally appear on the horizon, your heart stops. They're impossible. Mountains built by human hands. Monuments that make kings believe they're gods. The workers' camp sits beneath them like an anthill. Thousands of people, thousands of slaves, thousands of lives feeding a machine bigger than any one person. And now, you're one of them. The overseer is built like an ox. His whip hangs from his belt like a second arm. Welcome to eternity, he says. Everyone laughs. You don't understand why. You will. The next morning begins before sunrise. A horn blasts. Sleep ends. Life begins. Or what passes for life here. You haul limestone blocks heavier than anything you've ever touched. The rope burns your palms. The sun burns your skin. The dust burns your lungs. Everything burns. An older worker named Hori watches you stumble. First day, you nod. He smiles sadly. First day is the easiest. You think he's joking. He's not. By midday, your shoulders are bleeding. By sunset, your feet are raw. By nightfall, you're too exhausted to eat. You simply collapse. You're 11 when you see your first death. A stone slips. A scream follows. Then silence. One worker disappears beneath 20 tons of limestone. The overseer barely looks. Move the body, keep pulling. The pyramid isn't waiting. The dead man had a wife, 3 children, dreams, memories. Now, he's a stain beneath a rock. Years pass. Your body changes. The skinny child disappears. Muscle replaces hunger. Scars replace innocence. The pyramid rises. And so does your understanding. Nobody here matters. Not really. At 15, something changes. You learn to read. A priest notices you tracing symbols in the dirt. Most slaves never learn. Knowledge belongs to the powerful. But you learn quickly. Dangerously quickly. Soon you're recording deliveries instead of dragging stone. For the first time in years, your hands stop bleeding. The other workers hate you for it. You understand. Division is cheaper than chains. A girl named Nefru becomes your only friend. She works in the kitchens, steals scraps of bread, shares stories at night. You talk about impossible things. Freedom, travel, a life beyond Egypt. The dreams feel real in the darkness. During daylight, they feel ridiculous. One evening, she asks a question. What would you do if you escaped? You don't answer, because deep down you know, you wouldn't escape. You wouldn't know how. The camp has become your world. The cage has become home. You're 18 when Pharaoh dies. The news spreads like wildfire. Workers celebrate in secret. Maybe the next ruler will be kinder. Maybe the work will stop. Maybe everything will change. It doesn't. The next Pharaoh arrives. The construction continues. The taxes continue. The beatings continue. Only the name changes. For a moment, you realize something terrifying. The king isn't the machine. The machine survives every king. At 20, you're promoted. Official clerk. You count grain, record labor, track deaths, track births, track punishments. For the first time, you see the numbers. Thousands dead. Thousands more broken. The pyramid wasn't built from stone. It was built from people. Every block has a human cost. Then comes the drought. The Nile shrinks. Harvests fail. Food disappears. Fear spreads. Hungry people need someone to blame. And the powerful are rarely blamed. The knowledge keeps you awake at night. Nefru says you think too much. She's probably right. Thinking is dangerous, especially for slaves. One morning, soldiers enter the camp. Arrests begin immediately. Missing grain. Someone stole from the royal stores. Dozens are accused, including Nefru. You know she's innocent. You saw the records. You know exactly where the grain went. The governor stole it. The numbers prove it. But truth and power aren't friends. You try to defend her. The governor smiles. A dangerous mistake. The next day, you're arrested too. The prison is underground. Hot. Dark. Silent. No one screams. Screaming wastes energy. The guards beat confessions out of prisoners. Most confess immediately. Guilty or innocent doesn't matter. Only convenient matters. Weeks pass. You catch glimpses of Nefru, weaker every day. The darkness consumes everyone eventually. Then a miracle happens. An audit from the capital. Someone higher in the hierarchy discovers missing grain. The governor is sacrificed. Not because justice matters. Because someone important got embarrassed. You survive. The prison gates open. Sunlight feels strange. Freedom feels even stranger. Nefru doesn't. Disease kills her before release. No funeral. No ceremony. No goodbye. One day, she's there. The next day, she's gone. You're 24. Something inside you dies with her. Not hope. Hope died years ago. Something deeper. The belief that suffering eventually earns reward. Years blur together. New Pharaoh. New projects. New monuments. Same misery. You become valuable. Valuable. People aren't free. They're trapped differently. The governor, who once ignored you, now depends on your records. You know where money disappears. You know which nobles lie. You know who cheats taxes. Knowledge becomes your prison. You know too much to leave. You're 36 when a section of temple collapses. Workers die. Officials panic. Someone must take responsibility. A clerk's signature appears on the records. Your signature. The trial lasts less than an hour. The verdict is decided before it begins. Demotion, public beating, lifetime labor sentence. Everything you built vanishes. At 40, you're dragging stone again. Older, slower, weaker. The young workers pass you. You become invisible. Strangely, it's a relief. Invisible people attract fewer enemies. Invisible people survive. Usually, your lungs fill with dust. Your knees ache constantly. Every sunrise feels heavier. At 43, you can barely walk. At 44, you start coughing blood. At 45, you know the end is near. No doctor comes. No priest visits. You aren't important enough. You spend your final months in a storage room beside broken tools. Discarded equipment. Discarded worker. Same thing. One night, you dream about home. Your mother's smile. Your brother's laugh. The sound of wind through dry grass. You die before sunrise. No family beside you. No friends. No monument. Another laborer takes your place before midday. Work continues. It always continues. The pyramid remains. The temple remains. The kingdom remains. You don't. Thousands of years later, millions will remember the Pharaoh. Almost nobody will remember the people who built his immortality. Because history remembers kings. But civilizations are built by the forgotten.